Well, we are so happy to have you here.
So happy to be here.
Thank you. Thank you for writing this book. I think this is going to be such an incredible guide for so many women who are going to be so grateful for you. An evidence-based guide to surviving the zone of chaos.
Exactly.
The zone of chaos is also what I call my bikini line.
As
when
you
it's
should.
Been when I'm a little overdue for a wax.
Yes.
So many people have heard about the stage of menopause, but not a lot of people have heard about the perimenopause stage.
Right.
Walk us through what perimenopause is.
So
she asks like she doesn't know.
Since you asked. So medically, we define perimenopause as simply the transition from normal, regular menstrual cycles to full menopause. But it's a whole lot more than that. And perimenopause begins actually in the brain. So females, we're going to get a little sciencey here.
Go for it.
Females are born with all of our egg supply. So at birth, we have 1 to 2 million eggs. By the time we're 30, we're down to about 10% of that original egg supply. And by the time we're 40, we're down to 3%. And full menopause is you're out of eggs. That's it. So the reason why we ovulate is because we have signals coming from the brain when estrogen levels naturally get low that tell the ovary, okay, let's ovulate this month. And so for a healthy woman at like 28, pretend, you know on day 12.
Thanks for guessing my age. Don't Google it.
So you're going to do this on day 4, this on day 12. You're going to ovulate on day 14, on and on and on. It's just this beautiful, predictable cycle that looks like an EKG month after month after month. Right. Then we reach a critical egg threshold level where the signals from the brain stop working as well because there's not enough eggs to respond. So the brain starts going crazy, trying to force our ovaries to get the hormones out. And so what used to look like this beautiful pattern, now I take spaghetti, I throw it at the wall, and this is the next 7 years of your life.
Oh, God, that sounds terrible. With this administration. Oh, God, help us.
I'm sorry, I just talked to women, so hey guys.
Yes, there's a lot of men in the audience.
This is so exciting.
Don't worry, they put the men in perimenopause so that you would listen to. So you are included in this conversation. One of my favorite things in this book is that you have comments and stories from actual women who have gone through this. One woman wrote, "This is like puberty with a vengeance." My question is, why does God hate women?
You know, this is a normal, natural transition that 100% of us, if we're lucky to live that long, will go through. And the reason why I wrote the book is so many women are blindsided by the symptoms, and they shouldn't be. Like, we don't go through puberty without someone in our family, in our lives, guiding us through, this is gonna happen, you're gonna grow taller, hair's gonna grow in weird places, and you're gonna just start bleeding everywhere once a month.
Right.
You know, like, you get a heads up about that, right?
Yeah.
And so now we're going through perimenopause, like, as reverse Blue Lagoon. I'm dating myself, right? You know, we're all Brooke Shields in the water, and, like, no one is guiding us through it.
Yes.
And so women are getting blindsided. We see, you know, mental health disorders that increase 40% across the transition. We see women quitting their jobs. We see, you know, long-term relationships coming under strain. And it doesn't have to be this way. We have lots of tools to help guide you through this zone of chaos until you get out on the other side.
So one of the things that I found so interesting, the way that you explain it, because I felt it on the other side as a patient, but never understood why, is the evidence to practice gap.
Yes.
In the medical world.
Yes.
Explain what that is.
So there is about a 17-year gap from when a study comes out that is going to change the way we practice medicine before it is actually assimilated into clinical practice.
17 years.
17 years. So this could be medication for a heart attack. This could be, you know, menopause information. It is 17 years. Now, something about the internet, which has become the women's water cooler, it's how we share medical information now, is speeding that up. Lay people are getting access, clinicians are getting more access because we can now go online and search the studies ourselves. So I think that is speeding up. But if I wait 17 years for this study that I read and then try to wait for the guidelines to change and then, you know, to go to a medical conference and then they talk about it and then I start trying it, I'm gonna have a patient like lose her entire perimenopause.
Right.
And the ability to get her treated.
Well, and you bring up the internet, which I'm grateful that so many more women are talking about it. You're leading the charge. It's actually how we met on social media because I was a
Where
patient.
I find all my new friends.
Yes.
Is in my DMs.
Same. Just slide into those DMs. Doctors all over the place. But that was happening to me, and I love my doctors, but I was experiencing symptoms that I thought were hormonal, and I had a doctor ready to just write a prescription for Lexapro and send me on my way. And I am all for antidepressants, anti-anxiety meds if needed, but I was feeling like this was, I didn't
Something
even
else
get
is
to have
going
the
on.
hormonal conversation.
Right.
And you were
That's a
kind enough
problem
to help.
because in medical school, so I'm going to date myself. I was in medical school from 94 to 98. We had one-hour lecture on menopause, nothing on perimenopause. Okay. Then I graduate, and from 98 to 2002, I'm in my OBGYN residency program, which was amazing, and I learned so many important things. You know, we're surgeons, we're obstetricians, we're gynecologists, we do so much. We did not have a menopause clinic, a perimenopause clinic. All I learned about perimenopause was how to pronounce it. And so nothing about the zone of chaos, like that, it just wasn't, there was no treatment. There's never been a single large-scale study on the treatment of perimenopause. Right. And so now it's kind of consensus opinion. Thank God for the menopause, my friends in the menopause world, all the menopause certification. There's now a menopause society. So we're getting there, but you know, it's really unreasonable for you to think you can go to your great OBGYN or your family medicine or internist. If they haven't sought training outside of the residency program, most likely they're not going to be able to connect the dots between hormone changes and brain fog, hormone changes and sleep disruption, hormone changes and mental health changes, which is really the first signs of perimenopause in the brain.
Right.
Not your periods, not your hot flashes. Those are late perimenopause. That's the end. Really the first things that our patients are seeing, and if I see the nods going on in the audience, is I'm not sleeping, I'm struggling at my job, I'm having executive dysfunction like ADHD type symptoms, and I'm either anxious, ragey, or depressed, or all three.
Oh. Talk about potential solutions. So we've all heard about hormone replacement. Well, some of us have heard about hormone replacement therapy. It was good, then it was bad. Now it might be good again. Can you? There was a study that came out.
It's a pendulum. So there was a landmark study. It was pretty exciting that finally we were going to study women outside of reproduction. It was really, I was very excited about the study. And it was to see if hormone therapy would actually decrease the rate of heart disease, right? We thought it would because of anecdotal evidence and observational studies, but we need randomized control studies to say this medicine actually does this. So it had, you know, tens of thousands of patients enrolled, but the average age of the patient was a lot older than the average age of menopause. It was 63, because they were trying to see, is she going to have a heart attack or not? Right. You know, with HRT, is it going to make it better or not make it better or make it worse? Potentially. So when the first initial rolling out of the studies came, they thought they saw a potential increase. It wasn't statistically significant of breast cancer, but they led with a press conference where most of the people on the paper weren't allowed to attend, and it was this very dramatic, estrogen causes breast cancer, and like that was the shot heard around the world. It was the #1 medical news story of 2002. I remember sitting in my residency hearing about this, and we were recommending hormone therapy to almost everyone, right, who was a good candidate, and all of a sudden it was like, stop. You might give her cancer. And it was so hard to get that genie back in the bottle. It's taken 23 years for us to really reanalyze the data and say, actually, this is really safe for the vast majority of patients. We can start in perimenopause, we can decrease her risk of heart attacks, we'll definitely protect her bones, and it is the gold standard treatment for hot flashes.
Oh, and you just got the black box warning.
Yes, so
removed,
what came with that study was this crazy, scary black box warning that was, you open up your medication and there's a big box in black that says this medicine basically can kill you. Okay, and that's not what the study said. And so patients would get their prescription all excited to go home and get their symptoms relieved, even for vaginal estrogen. Can I say vaginal on national TV?
I mean,
he said so.
This is basic cable. You can say whatever the you want.
Okay. Okay. Vagina. Okay, I can say it. So yeah, the vaginal estrogen. So several. You know, we've asked the FDA for decades to remove this black box warning. It was not warranted for this medication. So finally, in November, the FDA was able to take the warning label down. Which has caused the shortage of estrogen patches.
Right?
Yes. So now
there's
we
a
have a shortage of estrogen patches. So anybody want to open an estradiol factory? I'll invest because it is really hard to find them right now.
Oh, we got some hormonal women during an authoritarian regime. Look the out. Women need their hormones. Alzheimer's has affected both of our families.
Yeah.
Talk about the connection, the potential connection between Alzheimer's and perimenopause and menopause.
2/3 of Alzheimer's patients are female. So there's a huge, much higher risk for women versus men. Did you guys know that? No. Yeah. So 2/3. And most of it is not genetic, right? 98% of Alzheimer's is a non-genetic component. You don't have that ApoE4 gene. And so when we look at the risks, it's definitely something about being female, like losing your hormones. And then, of course, there's lots of lifestyle things as well. What we know about hormone therapy is no one's doing new studies on hormone therapy, sadly, so we have to extrapolate from the older studies. It doesn't appear to be harmful. So going on hormone therapy is not going to increase your risk of developing Alzheimer's. What we think is that you're going to have secondary benefit in lowering inflammation, living healthier, having stronger bones, potentially less heart disease. That will also help keep your brain healthier. But, women are owed centuries of research here, Desi. Yeah. So I go to PubMed, which is where I look up research articles, right? And I type in the word pregnancy. 1.2 million articles today. Okay? Important. We need healthy pregnancies. I love being an obstetrician when I used to do it. Yes. My 50th birthday present was stop delivering babies to myself because if they didn't come at 3 a.m., I'd still be doing it. So,
congratulations.
So, yeah. And I type in the word menopause, and we have about 99,000. 12 to 1. So that's brain power, that's NIH funding, that is academic institutions, that is what we're focusing on in women's health. If I type in the word perimenopause, 9,000.
Wow.
9,000.
Wow.
So we have a lot of work to do here.
Yeah.
And, this book is a guide to help you get tools, resources, know what questions to ask so that you can go through this transition as healthy as possible.
Yeah.
And get these habits locked in, the lifestyle habits, so that you don't suffer. My patients, when they come to see me, we put out the fire of menopause, right? She's not functioning, she can't sleep, she's in crisis. We calm her down, okay? Then we start looking at the next 30 years. And we say, maybe not with this current administration, but we say, how did your mother age? How did your grandmother age? And I don't have a single patient who wants to be Brian Johnson, God bless him, and live to 120. Yes. Any of you ladies want to live to 120? No, right? And so
not in this economy.
Who can afford it? Right? Who can afford it? They don't want to be a burden on their children. They want the years they have to be full years without loss of independence. And what we're both dealing with in our family is having women in our family who are suffering from dementia, due to Alzheimer's, that maybe had some choices. We could have limited this or delayed it, and I want that. I don't want this to be the inevitable for my children. Right. So for my 2 daughters. So we start making the plans in that visit after we get the hot flashes stopped and her sleeping and her feel like she's got her life back. How much fiber are you getting? What kind of exercise are you doing? How's your stress? Are you in therapy? And so all the tools that she needs so that she can live her best life for as long as possible.
So it feels like a lot of this kind of falls on the shoulders of women themselves to take it upon themselves, get educated, know their bodies, go in and have conversations with their doctors. What advice would you give them to best advocate for themselves?
So educate yourself as much as possible. Try to find someone who's menopause certified. You can go to menopause.org, order our website at thepauselife.com. We have a list of providers who have been recommended by thousands of our followers, and they give a little testimonial, and we organize them by city and state. And the Menopause Society has a list of certified providers on their website. That's all over the United States and in Canada. So there are resources available, but just plan. It's not a well woman visit. That's the other thing. So if you're going to use insurance, this is not your well woman exam. Your well woman exam is to get your breast exam, your pap smear, and all the basics. This is a separate visit for you to really have the time, not in stirrups, so that you can discuss your...
Don't bring my stirrups. Got it. Got it.
Yeah, so that you can get the most out of your visit and hopefully have someone educated enough to connect the dots and help you.
Excellent advice. Do men experience perimenopause? Is that like buying a Corvette? Is that?
So women's hormones fall off a cliff.
Oh, yeah.
So we go through chaos, and then it falls, and then men's have a slow, gentle decline.
Oh, they're so gentle. We need to be gentle with them. That makes sense. What is your hope that women take away from this wonderful guide?
This is an inevitable and very normal transition. It happens to 100% of us if we're lucky to live long enough, but you should never suffer through it, ever. There should be zero suffering. And that you come out of it on the other end. I'm 57 years old, I'm fully menopausal, and I am living my best life.
Yes.
I want that for everyone.
Here's to living our best lives.
Cheers.
Yes, cheers. Living our best lives. The new